So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class we are going to discuss about Great Nicobar Project because it has been very much in the news. We had seen a lot of positives about this project and we have seen a lot of criticism, especially from environment point of view. So we'll be discussing about it. This has been very much in the news in the last few months. So we'll discuss about it. But before moving on, first of all, go to the Google and search this RT99 raised to 99 percentile in CAT 26. You'll click it and you will get this website. And if you have any query, you can ask it here also from the AI chatbot. Plus, actually, this is a 13 hours of intensive master class to help you know how to prepare for the upcoming CAT exam. Now, if you want to know more in detail, you can click on about RT99 and you can get to know in detail about the 13-hour master class, etc. Another thing is you should fill this, your name, email ID, phone number, etc. And this will help you register for that. Okay. Now, next one is OpenCDC. Mock 2 registration is live. Now you can use this QR code, so you can download the Google Lens app and scan through it. Or I would suggest no need to do that. Just Google search it, OpenCDC 2, and you will get this link. All India CAT Open Mock 2026. Click on it, and you will get this website. Okay. So if you see it carefully, this is actually happening on 8th and 9th August this year. So here actually what will happen is, what is OpenCDC? The idea behind this is that when you sit for the mock, actually it will be like an actual CAT exam, exactly in the same manner. So you will feel it also. That is the idea behind this. Because when you sit in the exam in your house and attempt the mock, that is not actually the real exam feeling. Okay, so these are the slots. So the idea behind this is to ensure that you should feel like a real CAT exam. So that's what the last date to fill the booking is 4th August. So you should do it. That will be very, very beneficial. Okay. That's what the idea is. So let us start with the class. Okay. So let us start with the topic. The topic is Great Nicobar Island Project. So it is an initiative proposed by the government of India for Great Nicobar Island, which is a part of Andaman Nicobar Group of Islands. So I'm sure you must be aware this is India, and here you will find Andaman Nicobar Group of Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Group of Islands. Okay. Of course, this also belongs to India. And actually it aimed at, so there's a proposal. What is the proposal of this project? It is an international container transshipment terminal, dual use civil and military port. So there'll be a port that will be set up in such a way that there will be civilian, like normal aeroplane, common man's aeroplanes will also land, and military airport will also be there. There'll be a power plant also and a township. Okay. And this is considered as India's strategic presence in Indian Ocean, which will reduce reliance on foreign transshipment hubs by leveraging India's proximity to shipping routes such as Strait of Malacca. Now we'll talk each and everything one by one because all these are very, very important. So let us first start with the concept of what is transshipment terminal and how it will be helpful here. See, first of all, let me show, actually this is Andaman Nicobar Group of Islands. So the last island is what we call it as Great Nicobar. And here the Great Nicobar Project is happening. Okay. Okay, and we'll discuss the positives as well as the negatives or the issues, the environmental issues also. So here actually is Great Nicobar. Okay. First, it is saying that this is a transshipment hub. Now, transshipment, what is transshipment? For example, last year we had seen a transshipment hub in Kerala that was inaugurated very much in the news, Vizianjam port. Okay. So what does transshipment hub means? Okay, let me explain. For example, let's say a big oil ship is coming from Oman, a big ship, and they want to export the oil, let's say to Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, and China. So this ship will come like this at the Vizianjam port. This will actually loading and unloading will happen on 4 small ships, and one ship will actually go to Malaysia, other will go to Philippines, other will go to Vietnam, and other will go to China. So this place is called as transshipment hub. Transshipment means loading and unloading is happening. And always remember, the transshipment hub will always be on the shipping routes. Like for example, we just talked about here, Vizianjam, transshipment hub. So this port should be in the middle of the shipping route. Calcutta cannot be made a transshipment hub because of course it is not in the middle of the route. Similarly, Great Nicobar is a great idea when it comes to this is Great Nicobar. When it comes to transshipment hub, because it is on the route, very important route. So you will find here, this is actually called as Strait of Malacca, very famous. and more than 200 ships crosses through it every day. So it connects, for example, if you are coming from South Korea, Japan, North Korea, China, Philippines, the shortest route is actually this, the best route to go to West Asia, South Asia, Sri Lanka, and to Africa, any route. So this actually, when some, let's say a ship, let's say Oman wants to send actually 4 oil tankers, to 4 countries, South Korea, Japan, Philippines, and Papua New Guinea. So Oman will send a big ship here. Let's say this is Great Nicobar, so I'm writing it GN. Here, a big ship will be all the oils, I'm just giving example, or all the goods of the big ship will be transferred into 4 small ships at this transshipment hub. One will go to Philippines, another will go to Papua New Guinea, another will go to South Korea, and another will go to Japan. So here what is happening? Loading and unloading is happening. Or unloading and loading is happening. That's what the idea is. So this is what we call it as transshipment hub. It should be at the route, shipping route. And yes, if you see it carefully, the Great Nicobar is actually on the shipping route, very near to the shipping route. Okay. And you can see this is a Great Nicobar, and this is Sumatra Island of Indonesia. Very near to it, hardly 150 kilometers or something like that. Not very far away. So here is Great Nicobar. Somewhere a GN I'm writing. This is Sumatra Island. And very near here is state of Malacca. Or I would say Malacca state. And here also here you will find Singapore. Okay. Now, let's say we have zoomed it. So here is actually state of Malacca. This is Banda Aceh province of Sumatra. This is Sumatra Island. And somewhere here you will find Great Nicobar. Great Nicobar Island. Okay, so any ship, actually let me make ship roped with the red color. So any ship coming like this, crossing Strait of Malacca can go like this. Now, so one is transshipment hub. They can go, loading and unloading can happen here. So from here, ship come and loading and unloading happens. And so first thing is this. So a big ship comes, loading and unloading happens, and then it can go to different places. Another thing is, this is very important actually from military point of view, because a lot of Chinese ships also comes in this route, and this is a very important choking route. So basically we cannot block it. We are not saying that actually people are saying that we can block. No, blocking it is not so easy. But the idea is at least we can have like information that, okay, this Chinese ship had crossed this route, etc. So this is very near. So of course, for surveillance purpose, it is a very great idea. That if any ships crosses through this route, etc. and all. Okay, so that is why it is being proposed. Transshipment hub, dual use civil and military airports will be there. So we have one airport in Andaman Nicobar, what we call it as in Port Blair, not Port Blair. What is the new name for Port Blair? Write in the comment section. So Veer Savarkar Airport. Veer Savarkar Airport is there because he was arrested and I think sent to jail in Andaman. Cellular jail. So in his name, Veer Savarkar Airport is named there in Port Blair. So there is already one port in Andaman Nicobar group of island, but in Great Nicobar Island, actually they are making this port for both civil purpose, for military airport. So it means a military planes will also land, etc. and all. So there will be a power plant and a township, entire township will be set up. So this is called as strategic. Strategic means military angle. So strategically, militarily, from Navy point of view, it will be very, very important. And of course, this will reduce reliance on foreign transshipment hub because we'll be having our own transshipment hubs. We can earn money also when we do loading, unloading, etc. and many other things. And it is very near to Strait of Malacca. So both from trade point of view and both from strategic point of view, it is very, very important. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. अब आगे चलते हैं. Now, since we are talking about Andaman Nicobar, actually क्या हुआ था कि yesterday was I was seeing newspaper yesterday, day before yesterday. So there's a UPSC CAPF assistant and commandant exam was conducted this Sunday, and they asked questions on this Andaman Nicobar, and I think they had asked because this has been in the news. So they asked about Andaman Nicobar. How many islands are there? 836 islands. Out of which 31 are inhabited. In 31 actually people are living. It is separated by 10-degree channel. What does it mean? So let me show. So this is Andaman group of island and this is Nicobar group of island. Andaman group of island includes North Andaman, Middle Andaman, Lower Andaman, Sentinel Island, Little Andaman. Here is Car Nicobar, etc. Last one is Great Nicobar. Here the project is happening. So this is actually being divided by 10-degree channel, 10-degree north latitude. Or 10-degree channel it is called. 10-degree channel. What does it mean? Let me explain. Okay. It means, for example, this is 0-degree equator. This is, let's say, Andaman group. This is Nicobar group. So this 10-degree north latitude is here, which cuts Andaman group with Nicobar group. That's what you should know. Okay? So ये हो गया 10-degree channel या 10-degree north latitude. Okay? 836 islands. Hana. Port Blair, now it is called as Sri Vijayapuram. Yes, this is what I was asking. The capital. Hana. And you should know, of course, that it's so northernmost part from the mouth of the southernmost tip of India is Indira Point. You know this, Hana. So in the southern tip of Great Nicobar, you'll find Indira Point. So this question is a very prominent question. Which is the southernmost tip of India? So the answer is, in Great Nicobar, there's a place called as Indira Point. But if the question asked is, which is the southernmost tip of mainland India, then the answer is in Tamil Nadu. Hana. Cape Comorin in English, or what we call it is Kanyakumari. If they're asking mainland India, southernmost tip is Kanyakumari, Cape Comorin. Otherwise, Indira Point is even southern, more southern to Kanyakumari. That's what you should know. Okay. Maritime borders etc. very near to Myanmar, Thailand etc. है ना आप देखोगे it's very near. Here is Thailand, here is Myanmar. This is Sumatra Island. This is Sumatra Island of Indonesia. Very near to Sumatra Island, Indonesia. है ना these things you should know. है ना Andamanis, Nicobaris group. So people actually Sentinels people are there. Sentinel Island I've shown you. So let me show. So here is Sentinel Island. Sentinelese people are living here. And then other tribes like Jorways, Onjays, Andamanese, Nicobaris. These are actually tribal people here in this region. Okay. Okay. So district capital like North and Middle Andaman. So capital is Maya Bandar. So we have discussed about in current affairs also that here fishing port is being established under PM Matsya Sampada Yojana. Please read about that. Sampada Yojana. Then we have South Andaman capital, like Port Blair is here. So here is South Andaman. Somewhere here is South Andaman, where you will find Port Blair. And on this Port Blair, you will find the capital, the airport, Veer Savarkar Airport. Whereas now, this is Galathea, this is Great Nicobar Project, which we are talking about. This in this class. So there'll be one airport here also. They are planning. Both military and civil. Nicobar, Car Nicobar is the capital, etc. And read about Swaraj Deep, Shahid Deep also, because these islands were renamed. And we have Cellular Jail. Also, where actually a lot of freedom fighters were arrested and sent to jail here. Okay. We have Veer Savarkar International Airport at Port Blair. Yeah, okay. And of course, it is strategically very important. You know, we have Andaman Nicobar Command, which jointly operates armed forces and all the three armed forces, etc. here. And we are talking about Great Nicobar Project. It is 81,000 crore project. Somewhere they are writing 92,000 crore project also. Okay. So first is Transshipment Hub at Galathea Bay. So we have actually Galathea Bay. Here actually you will find the southernmost tip in Great Nicobar. Here you will find somewhere here. Galathea Bay. Galathea Bay National Park is also there. And it is environmentally very important. So here actually, Galathea Bay, they are making this Transshipment Hub, etc. Where the ships can come and transshipment, etc. Via for Singapore and Colombo. So where is Singapore? Where is Colombo? So this is Great Nicobar. Colombo is here. Here. And Singapore is here. So to connect Singapore with Colombo, of course, this is a great transshipment hub. These are the things being talked about. Civil and military airport will be there. Campbell Bay is also there. Okay. Naval station just attached to Galathea Bay. The last Great Nicobar mein idhar kahin pe Galathea Bay hai. Aur ye pe Campbell Bay. So these all are places here. There. Okay. Integrated township is also being set up. So they'll actually set up a towns, etc. Special economic zones will happen. Gas and solar power plant will also be there. A lot of things are being discussed. So near to it is Balakka Strait. Will establish tri-service command is there. Air Force, Navy and Army. And of course it will be a push towards an Act East policy. You know, Act East means we have to see towards the eastern region. So if we'll be having Great Nicobar Project, we can go here, etc. and all. And there's one more thing, they're talking about tourism attraction. Also, for example, earlier people used to go here. So there's a place called as Phuket. A lot of tourists go in Thailand, etc. So instead of that, they can go to Great Nicobar Project. Great Nicobar in our own country. So these are some of the positive things. Now we are talking about strategic because a lot of things were discussed that this project is being defended as strategic. However, I saw this article where they said the finance ministry body had once said that it is not having strategic goals. God knows better why they are writing this article. Now, so basically, but by and large, it is being proposed like it is a strategic project, but other things also like township is being developed, civilian airport is also there, transshipment hub will also be there, etc. and all. Just hold on. Okay. Now, issues with the project, the most important is environmental issues. Okay, that's the main thing. Impacting indigenous people like Champagne, Nicobaris, the local tribal population, and Jorways, Onjays, Sentinelese. Okay, so these are the tribal people in Andaman Nicobar, especially in Nicobar region. Champagne and Nicobaris are there. Okay. So, and the leatherback turtle will be impacted. This is leatherback turtle, very famous. Found in Andaman Nicobar region. Leatherback turtle. It is actually vulnerable in IUCN category. Okay, that is what you should know. And now corals, corals are very important. They are actually having highest biodiversity. Okay, you know this, corals. They are made of a phylum, from phylum Cnidaria. Actually, this is actually, they are in symbiosis. So coral polyps are in symbiosis with zooxanthellae. You know this, and zooxanthellae provides them with the color, and coral polyps provide them with the hard structure, etc. This is actually high biodiversity. You will find this in higher biodiversity region. So there are reports that, of course, now I'll explain what exactly is the problem. First, now one thing is, if you have read the concept of biodiversity hotspot, so it is the top biodiversity hotspot. It is a part of biodiversity hotspot of India. Okay, so when you are saying Great Nicobar, when you are making township, when you are making civil, military airport, transshipment hub, what will happen? You have to cut a lot of trees. So this will damage the environment. Environmental damage. On trees, a lot of birds and other things are dependent. A lot of things are dependent on that. So entire biodiversity in this region will be lost. That is one thing, the biggest problem. Next is leatherback turtle. You will find it here. Leatherback turtle. Another thing is actually there is coral reefs. And coral reefs are actually highest biodiversity in the marine ecosystem. You know this. All these will be getting affected. That is what is being talked about. So people have given, some people had given the proposal that in Great Nicobar only military ports should be allowed, etc. and all for strategic purpose. But many environmentalists have suggested that we should avoid making township, we should avoid having power plant, we should avoid having civilian airports, etc. Only from military angle, whatever is required, strategic port, that should be there minimum, etc. So that is what many environmentalists have suggested, that we should not be unnecessarily harming the environment. And of course, local indigenous people like Nicobaris and Shompen will be affected. So there, yes, Shompen and Nicobaris would be there. So these are the things that is being talked about. Okay. तो अब क्या है कि environmental, so the people filed a petition in the National Green Tribunal, and National Green Tribunal allowed it by citing that it is a strategic importance, because the job of NGT is to protect the environment, and they allowed the entire project, saying that this is a strategic project. So 92,000 crore project as strategic, and other relevant consideration, we are allowing this project. People had filed a petition that it violates the environment, it will harm the environment. NGT bench was headed by Chairperson Justice Prakash Srivastav, and he allowed it. And that is what you should know. On protecting corals, bench relied on government submission that no coral reef within the work area of the project, noting that plans were already underway. So these are the things. Translocation. So there's a plan to translocate those coral reefs. I'm not sure whether this will. There's a provision to translocate corals, and what is the chances of protecting it, etc. and all. So these things are being talked about. There are two tribal communities, Nicobaris and Shompen. Both are scheduled tribes in the Andaman Nicobar group of islands. So there are others also like Jorvaes, ONJs, Sentinelese, but these are acting not in that island. But overall in Andaman group of islands, Andaman and Nicobar group of islands, you will find these. However, in Great Nicobar, you will find specifically Nicobaris and Shompen. And there was petition that was filed in Calcutta High Court also. Why? Because Andaman and Nicobar group of island comes under the jurisdiction of Calcutta High Court. So a lot of alarms were raised by conservationist activists, etc. and all. Now we are talking about scheduled tribe. These two are scheduled tribe. You should know there is, within the scheduled tribe community, there is something called as PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. It is a sub-classification within the scheduled tribe, those who are even more vulnerable. Within the scheduled tribe itself is vulnerable. Within them, the more vulnerable are categorized as PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal group. And this concept was given by Debar Commission. And this is actually in 18 states and 1 union territory. And that 1 union territory is Andaman Nicobar. And they includes like Great Nicobaris, Jorvaes, ONJs, Sentinelese, Shompens. These are actually PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. But Nicobaris are not in PVTG. They are in normal scheduled tribe. So these concepts you should know. Now let us talk about what the government has written. And the Great Nicobar is Great Nicobar into strategic maritime economic hub, etc. And 40 nautical miles. 2 shipping routes. ये सब बात हो रही है ना. a lot of greenfield international airport. Greenfield means there's a concept called as brownfield and there's a concept called as greenfield. Brownfield means there is already a project, you are just reviving that. Greenfield means you are making a project from zero, starting a new airport. So that's called as from zero. That's called as Great Nicobar. That's called as greenfield. So they have got the approval from EIA notification. What exactly it is, we'll discuss about this. Tribal welfare schemes for Champagne and Nicobari communities are there, etc. With no displacement. So they have said that there will not be any displacement. According to the government, there will not be any displacement of Champagne and Nicobari tribe. That is what the government has said. Okay, these are the things being talked about. So international container ship, greenfield international airport means airport will be built from zero. A new township will be developed also. So these are the things being talked about here. So this is en route from Colombo to Singapore. Colombo, यहाँ पे अगर Colombo होगा, यहाँ पे Singapore होगा. So between Colombo and Singapore, this is actually the best. Actually, transshipment hub, Great Nicobar. Okay, that's what you should know. Okay, greenfield airport. These are the things being talked about. Then power plant will also be there. Township area development will also be there. है ना. वही फुकेट आइलैंड मैंने बताया कि ऑफ कोर्स यहाँ पे लोग जाते थे, जैसे फुकेट है यहाँ पर, है ना. थाईलैंड में पीपल गो ट्रैवल a lot of Indians, so instead of that they will go to Great Nicobar for tourist purpose, etc. Environmental impact assessment has also been done. So there is a law called as Environment Protection Act 1986. Environment Protection Act 1986. Under this, in 2006, a notification was issued, Environment Impact Assessment. And under this, before a project is being done, Environment Impact Assessment of that project is done. So they are saying that the project received prior environmental clearance under EIA notification after detailed screening, scoping, public consultation, appraisal. So they are saying it that all these things were done. Experts from Zoological Survey of India, Salim Ali Center for Ornithology. Ornithology is related with birds because the birds will also be impacted. And a World Life Institute, IISc, conducted studies and Zoological Survey of India stated that they can proceed with proper safeguards. That is what the government says, that these institutions have given them the approval. Okay, so environment impact assessment कैसे होता है? पहले प्रोजेक्ट का प्रपोजल होता है, देन स्क्रीनिंग, स्कोपिंग, बेसलाइन डेटा कलेक्शन, है ना. इतना नहीं जाना है. सो यू शुड नो स्क्रीनिंग, पहले फर्स्ट चेक किया था वेदर इट नीड्स environment impact assessment or not. फिर स्कोपिंग होता है. स्कोपिंग के बाद यहाँ चले आओ, पब्लिक कंसल्टेशन, दे आस्क फ्रॉम द पीपल्स ओपिनियन, देन एक्सपर्ट कमिटी के पास जाते हैं, देन environmental clearance. Once the environment is cleared, environmental clearance is done, the project starts even after that monitoring and compliance, whether they are following all the environmental rules or not. So these are the things under environment impact assessment. ठीक है, स्क्रीनिंग के बारे में देख सकते हो, जिसमें AI. अब देखो स्क्रीनिंग किसमें होता है, देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट, कैटेगरी A और कैटेगरी B. B में B1 और B2 होता है. ओके, सो B2 में EIA स्टडी की जरूरत नहीं होती. एंड B प्रोजेक्ट्स आर रिलेटेड विद दोज हु आर एक्चुअली स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इज सपोज्ड टू गिव अप्रूवल, और कैटेगरी A प्रोजेक्ट में सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट गिव्स अप्रूवल, है ना, फॉर EIA एटसेट्रा एंड ऑल. फिर स्कोपिंग होता है, उसमें फाइंड आउट किया जाता है कि क्या क्या स्टडी करना है. स्कोपिंग मींस व्हाट टू स्टडी इन एनवायरनमेंट, टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस, है ना. फिर बेसलाइन डेटा कलेक्शन होता है, प्रेडिक्टेड असेसमेंट होता है ना. देन मिटिगेशन मेजर्स, प्रिपरेशन ऑफ रिपोर्ट्स, एंड देन पब्लिक कंसल्टेशन, द लोकल NGOs, अदर स्टेक होल्डर्स, द लोकल पॉपुलेशन इज बीइंग कंसल्टेड. देन एक्सपर्ट अप्राइजल कमिटी होती है. फिर इन्वायरमेंटल क्लियरेंस दिया जाता है. And these things happen. I'm not going in that detail because that is not important for you, but just have an idea. फिर monitoring and compliance होता है. Means even after the project is given approval, the project initiates, the project is being done, still they check it whether they are following all the rules or not. है ना. So यही होता है EIA का process. So I hope you got the idea. We have discussed both the aspects of it, the positives and the negatives of this project. This is all about today's class. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, share this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.